We are spending time with the Minerals Commission as we do every Wednesday morning, and today we are focusing on the digitalization drive. And there's an online application process by the Minerals Commission which they call the Mining Cadastral Administrative System, MCAS. And in last week's edition, we talked about the mineral rights in Ghana with emphasis on the machinery used at the various stages, that is from exploration to exploitation. And today, once again, Mr. Hassan Al-Hassan, the head of Mineral Titles Department of the Minerals Commission, is here once again. Mr. Hassan, welcome.
Thank you, Thelma.
I'm seeing the word cadastral for the first time. This is your system, Mining Cadastral Administrative System. What's it all about?
Mining cadastral, to put it simply, is just the outlook of our maps, how it looks like with respect to mineral rights given to various individuals and companies, how it looks like when displayed on the spatial map of Ghana. So that's what simply the mining cadastral means.
Okay. And why was the process put in place, this online platform? I'm guessing it was not on the internet before, and now because of digitalization and where we are, 21st century, you are moving certain things from one level to another, right?
Yes, people do complain about the turnaround time in applications for mineral rights. So going online is to reduce as much as possible the human interactions in the application process, and also to make sure we remain within the given turnaround time within the law, so that people wouldn't think that somebody is intentionally delaying his or her applications when it comes, because this is going to be online. And by going online, we want to ensure there is that efficiency in the system, there is that accountability with respect to the system, there is that transparency as people would expect, because this time there is no human being to change files to say this one came first, this one came second, but because I love number 2, I put number 1 ahead of number 2 ahead of number 1. So we're going to remove all those things to ensure there is much transparency in the system. And the system itself is also going to ensure the compliance system, because when you go onto the system as a mineral rights holder, it tells you as when you have to be giving us reports, whether it's monthly or quarterly or whether it's terminal. All these things will be, some alarms will be given up to you to ensure that there is this interaction between the holder and the Minerals Commission to ensure that there is smooth management of the mineral rights, and we respect our revenues too, because we need money at all times.
But the system is not live yet, is it?
Yeah, we're going live on the 1st of November.
Okay, November 1.
November 1.
MCAS is going live.
Yes, and that's the time we expect every applicant should not come to the Minerals Commission, should do everything online.
Okay. And so what's in it for customers in respect of, you've mentioned reducing the human factor when it comes to submitting applications and also ensuring compliance. What other things will change?
Yeah, we bring in the application process to the doorsteps of prospective applicants and investors. This time you can sit in the comfort of your home or office to do all these applications online, to upload everything without the hassle of coming to the Minerals Commission.
Okay.
So everything is going to be made simple.
So is it a website that...
yeah, we already have our website, which
okay.
is the Ghana Mining website, but this is part of the data repository on our website, that when you go onto the Minerals Commission website, you're able to see this MCAS and to follow through and through. But then you need to register first. Okay. And the registration process is just simple. You just go online, go there, use your email to create your own addressing system or profile. Your email, you create your password. Then eventually you get a mail in your email that you need to activate yourself. So when you activate, send it to the Ghana Mining repository where you can start the process. So in that mining repository, you're able to see what we have there with respect to all applications that are prospecting, those that are reconnaissance, those that are restricted mining leases, and the mining leases, and all that, like, how do you call it, necessary agreement that are with all these mining companies in Ghana.
Okay.
But though you may have the view of it and have a feel of it, and it's very interactive too, by you giving us your email address, you're able to interact with us in case you need any further or better particulars with respect to any application that you see on the portal. So by going online now, we're going to restrict every application to the online business. Sit in your home or your office and do application. It is only when you get problems or find problems that you need to come to the office and see some of our officers to help you out.
But the requirements, I presume, remain the same?
It's the same, yes. Whatever requirements that we used to do manually previously, we're going to upload everything onto the system.
So instead of submitting hard copies of documents, you submit them in certain
You
format.
scan your everything and you upload them into the system.
All right. And when it comes to payments, what happens then?
Yeah, the payment. Like we said, we have started with the small scale. That one, the payment is triggered the moment you start the registration process. And the payment too is hooked to Ghana.gov, which is Ghana's digital service and payment platform. So when you go onto the Ghana.gov, all the institutions and agencies that are government, all the payments are listed there. So you see Minerals Commission there. And when you get there, any payment with respect to Minerals Commission can be made through that platform.
Right.
Yeah.
And what happens when there are mistakes?
Mistakes as to mistakes in what?
In the online process, somebody is submitting certain documents, they realize they've made a mistake and they want to make changes.
Oh, the system is so flexible that whatever you put there can be taken out and another thing reloaded. It's so flexible. But in case you continue getting the problems, then you have to get to us at the office to help you out.
And the online system, it sounds like a fascinating concept, but there are parts of the country where internet access is not what it should be. What's the plan for those areas?
No, we have made sure that all our 13 district mining offices that we're going to start with have all this infrastructure, a good internet service. But so I can assure you all the 13 districts would have good internet service to enable them upload everything and send to the head office. The problem will arise with our satellite stations, which are much more remote. Yes, but we're sure by the time we get there, the internet service would have been there for them to also. But for now, it's the district offices, which are much hooked up to the various, how do you call it?
The district offices of the Minerals Commission.
The Minerals Commission, yes.
So if anyone wants to apply for any of the licenses and they do not have internet access, you're saying that they can go to the district office of the Minerals Commission and be able to do that at those offices. Do you anticipate any challenges or problems at all?
Of course, yes. Anything new that is rolled up would come with challenges. Even this weekend, we have to go on a retreat to brainstorm as to what to expect after rolling out this thing on the 1st of November. So we believe there will be challenges, but we are ready for it and to make sure we move forward with it.
But you haven't mentioned what you think the challenges would be.
Oh, the challenges, you mentioned some, like trying to upload, it's not going. The internet service where there are no infrastructure for you to upload some of these things. And your things come in and maybe blocked up in the air, not getting to us. You know, all these things may come up. But then, like I said, in Hausa we say, it's only when you get to the situation that you'll be able to find ways of solving the problems.
Do you think we are going to have Gafriga this? It's a popular one. Even I know it, and I don't know any Hausa. I know Tona Godi, so that's so I presume that there will be a period where you're running the old system and the new system together, or do you intend to just go online and scrap the manual process entirely?
Now we say fully online, so those already within the system which we already have their registrations or applications with us and not registered, we are urging all of them to go register online. You want to make sure if we say online, everything is online. Though we may have problems, but that notwithstanding, everything should be online from now.
including those who are now applying, who have applied in the past?
Who have applied and their things are with us, they should go and register. So you have your information with us, but get there and register so that the system will know you, identify you anytime we get to upload or digitize some of your things that are with us.
Let me try to ask, so will they be starting the process all over again because you're asking them to reapply?
No, it's not the reapply. You need to register for the system to know you.
Okay.
You know, like I've put in my application there, company ABC, but for now he's not registered with us on the system. So he goes onto the system and register that Mr. Hassan is working for company ABC. So he will be doing ABC for this company. So he's registered and he gets to us and he's doing it on behalf of this company. So anytime we put all those things system in place, it means you're already recognized by our system, by you registering with us that you are doing it on behalf of this company. So like I said, in the initial sense, there will be challenges, but we are actually braced up for any challenge.
Okay. Have you communicated this new vision to your members? And
yes.
And what's the level of engagement and what's the response?
We have actually started with the producing minds, as the mining leagues, those who are really in the system. Started back then about a year ago, so it's moving smoothly. Now it has moved to the prospecting licenses and the restricted, and lastly the small-scale licenses. With the big companies, we're not facing much problems because they are all up there with technology and everything. But it's with the smaller companies, like the small scale, that we think there will be much problems. Well, we are braced and geared up to make sure everything goes on smoothly. No, it's not going to be easy, but we are braced up for it.
Hassan, thank you for sharing your part of your morning with us once again, as you always do on Wednesdays.
Thank you. So like I said, on the 1st, we're going fully online. So from there, we wouldn't expect anyone to come presenting any manual thing to us. Everything is supposed to start from the district, or if you can do it in your own, the comfort of your home, you go and get to us, and we are ready to work with you. Thank you. And
they can get to that portal through the Minerals Commission website?
Yes, the Minerals Commission website, but I can mention it too.
Yes, go ahead.
The https://sso.revenuedev.org. Then it will, by going there, to send you to the mining repository.
Can you go over that again?
//sso.revenuedev.org/. So that's when you press, you enter, it will send you to the mining repository, which is the mincom.gov.gh. Then you'll be given the opportunity to start registration from there with your email, create your own password, get the confirmation, you activate.
So we are seeing stuff on the screen now. Does this tell us what people would see when they use the channel that you've just communicated to us?
Yeah, these are some of the information that you'll actually get on the Minerals Commission website. These are, I think, agreements of various mining companies, which the public must know as to the kind of agreement the government goes into with these companies that mine our gold in the country. That not to say people keep, giving information out there that the government is not getting a good deal from its mineral resources. So that's how come some of these things are displayed for people to go and see for themselves.
Okay, so the Mining Cadastral Administrative System, MCAS, is going live on the 1st of November. The Minerals Commission is fully pushing this digitization agenda. They want to go fully digital beginning November 1, and they are asking all their players, people who want to apply for licenses, to use the online platforms. And if you already have an application in the process, then you need to register so that you continue on from there. I've been doing this. Mr. Hassan Al Hassan, head of the Minerals Titles Department of the Minerals Commission, Mr. Hassan, thank you once again.
Thank you,
and we appreciate your time. We'll be back to have another sit down with some people from the airport. So stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pamper, so we try to suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the button go do, we go straight to stardom. And I go take you to the level. Oh, my baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Energy next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level.
October 20th, you are all my mothers. I love you all and congratulations. October 20th is a big day also for a group of people in the aviation industry, and for them it is International Day of the Air Traffic Controller, and it's a special day set aside to honor the men and women who work around the clock to make air travel the safest possible mode of transportation in the world. It also marks the anniversary of the founding of the International Federation of Air Traffic Controllers Association on October 20, 1961. Globally, that organization represents over 50,000 air traffic controllers in more than 130 countries. And as part of events to celebrate the day, we will look at the important role that air traffic controllers play in providing air navigation services within the Accra Flight Information Region. And to help us with this discussion, we've been joined by two professionals from that field. From my far right, I'll start with the lady first, Ms. Alisa Kalmoni. She is a member of the organization, which is the international organization that deals with air traffic control, International Federation of Air Traffic Controllers Association, IFATCA, I think it is. And so, Madam Alisa, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning and good morning to the viewers.
Thank you. And right next to her, on my immediate left, Mr. Francis Amamensa, President of the Ghana Air Traffic Controllers Association, GATCA. That's what I could say, GATCA. IFATCA is a bit GATCA. So, President and a member of the association, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
So, air traffic controllers, you are not pilots, you are not cabin crew members.
No.
But you help the planes to take off and land. Are you the people who wave the flags?
No, that's
on
always
the
the
tarmac?
misconception. No, we're not.
Oh, you're not?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you do? What exactly is the work of an air traffic controller? I'll start with the ladies first.
No problem.
Okay, so air traffic controllers are highly trained professionals and with a set of specialized skills. And what we do is we keep aircraft at safe distances apart on the ground and in the air to avoid them from colliding into each other.
On the ground and in the air?
Yes.
It sounds like an interesting kind of business. What kind of special skill do you need to do that?
Basically, we need science background and computer science as well, geography, sometimes considered as well. So those are the basic things, the first degree, and you'll be trained. We have a training school in Ghana and across the globe. So they employ you fresh as an intern, then you go through the process, you do ab initio, that's the initial course, then you proceed to do aerodrome control. That's working at the tower. You have the approach control and the area control before you branch into other specialties, like search and rescue, airspace design. There's a lot of functions there.
Yeah, it sounds like, so typically if an aircraft was to take off, paint that scenario for us. What would be your role in ensuring that that happens safely? Alisa.
Okay, so right from when the aircraft start their engines on the parking stands, they call us up for an air traffic control clearance. Now what that is permission for an aircraft to, let's say the aircraft is flying from Accra to Lagos. So the pilot files what we call a flight plan with all the intentions of that flight. And so they call us up for an air traffic control clearance, and that is permission for that aircraft to proceed and for us to fit them into our air traffic management system. And so we give them permission to start their engines, and then once they're ready to taxi, you know, when an aircraft moves slowly to the runway, we call it taxiing. So then the control tower gives that permission for the aircraft to proceed to taxi to the active runway. Now the runway is the stretch of land where an aircraft takes off on and lands on. So I think Francis mentioned that there are 3 different units. You've got the aerodrome control, which is a tower controller. Okay, now that is in, every time you go to an airport, you see a tall building like a tower with glass all around it. That's aerodrome control. And then we've got the air traffic control center. Okay, so there's a picture now of Kotoka, and right at the top with the glass all around, that's the aerodrome control tower. And below that, on the 4th floor, is the air traffic control center, which has the approach control unit and the area control unit. So those are the 3 different units.
It sounds like it's a lot of things happening at the same time. So you really have to be sharp, because we've seen. Yesterday I had to go and watch a documentary of what happened in an air control office, and quite fascinating stuff. Our team was there. You were gracious enough to invite the team there, and they brought you some scenes, because I doubt you've ever been up in a tower like that. So have a look at what our team found. And so Alan Darrell, they were keeping an eye on the air traffic control room at the Kotoka International Airport. Have a look.
Victor Tower. This is Keep an Eye, and we're coming to you live from the Kotoka International Airport. We're currently located on the air traffic control tower, and from here, what happens to your aircraft before and after takeoff all comes through their hand. They manage your aircraft, and so when you're relaxed, sat back, and they ask you to get strapped and ready for takeoff, know that your pilot has been in conversation with the man up atop this tower. On these monitors, we see these green points. What are they?
Yeah, aircrafts under our control.
Are you then able to communicate directly with the aircraft?
Yes.
And has there been a point where you're trying to engage an aircraft, but then the pilot is unresponsive, and what may account for that?
Yeah, at times it happens. The reason is when the aircraft coming from maybe Abidjan to Accra. The aircraft will be in Abidjan and tune to Abidjan frequency. So when it changes to Accra, at times Abidjan will change to Accra frequency, maybe 1309. The pilot is okay, Roger. You will still maintain the Abidjan frequency. So in this case, when it happens like that, what you do is you have two things. I think you can even call Abidjan, tell Abidjan, oh, it looks like the man is still on the frequency. So if you can raise him, advise him to call Accra. Or two, you can contact other aircraft. There are some timber frequency that they use.
So aircraft pilots communicating with one another have their own frequencies.
No,
does
pilots
that happen?
and pilots, yeah, in the
Does
air.
that happen while in each aircraft?
No, it happens.
They engage each other?
Yeah, they engage that a lot.
Right. That means you all operate on different frequencies. So if you're in Togo airspace, they have a different frequency,
yeah.
And then Ghana, Nigeria, we all have different frequencies.
Yeah, different frequencies.
And so at every point, pilots will have to, the moment they cross over your airspace, switch over to the next airspace frequency in order to engage any communications. Okay, so when do you say an aircraft is off radar?
The radar has a coverage, and some maybe 250 nautical miles radius. I don't know if I can depict it.
Yeah,
We have this Alpha Charlie here. That's the facility Accra.
Okay,
yeah.
so Accra is Alpha Charlie. That's Accra Control Center.
Yeah, not the facility. That's the viewer. See, when you use East Legon, the underbridge, we have some facility there. Sure. Yes, that's our viewer, our DME. It gives us the radial distance from Accra. Right. Yeah, that's what we call Alpha Charlie. Okay. But not specifically, it's Accra Control Center.
Right, cool.
So the distance, you see, we have some of these radar as a distance they cover. Right. They have to, some are 250 nautical miles, so 250 nautical miles for radius.
Right.
So in this case, when you take out a Charlie from there, you see, you come. See, we have 153.
Yes.
Accra radar, I think it's around 250 nautical miles.
Right.
250, let me say 250 down here.
Right. Okay, so beyond that,
beyond 250, the radar,
you can't see the aircraft.
Yeah, you can see the aircraft.
And does that mean you can't also talk to the aircraft?
You can still talk to the aircraft, but you can't see the aircraft. So anytime aircraft is moving out of the radar coverage, you need to advise the pilot. Right. That radar service terminates. Right. Then he knows he's under purely procedural control. Okay. But when down in Accra down south, we have something called CPDLC. Controller pilot data link communication. So when they get outside the radar coverage, we can let them hook onto the CPDLC. There's something that they log on, and you get them like a radar. You see them on the scope, and you just control them.
I realize she's talking. Not only is she talking, but she also writes.
Yeah.
What does she write?
We have flight progress strips. Yeah, we have the flight data processor, that's the FDD. So we print some strips.
Right.
So each strip represents one aircraft. So when the aircraft calls you, that's the contact time, you need to put it down. The level that the aircraft is climbing, you need to put it down. Maybe you give the aircraft some initial level, you need to write it. Maybe the man is requesting 360. You can give him 340 initially. You just write it. When you climb to the 360, you cancel the 340 and you write 360. And the time you hand the aircraft over to the next FIR, and then maybe the estimates, the point, maybe Abidjan and Accra, our control, the transfer point is Onesi. So the pilot will give you estimates for Onesi. At times the system can even generate the estimate for you, and you put it on the strip, so that if in case something happens, they will go for this strip, go through and see what,
whether
some information,
some information were withheld from the You mentioned runway 21, runway 0 something. Well, looking at the airport, I think there's only one strip where aeroplanes take off and land. But you just mentioned two different numbers. Does that mean you have more than one runways?
Yeah, we have one runway, but in a way it's like two. Because when the aircraft is landing from the, let me say this side is 2-1.
Right.
From the north, that's from East Legon to the motorway, from East Legon to the motorway area, that one is 2-1. When they are landing from that direction, it's runway 2-1. And when they are landing from Osu, over the Atlantic, it's 03. Yeah, so I say we have two runways, but you can't use the two runways at the same time.
Do you have periods or moments where an aircraft you don't know about suddenly shows up in our airspace?
Most of the time, when it happens like that, you need to talk to the pilot. Your point of departure, maybe destination. If let's say the aircraft is even coming to Accra, you can check whether he's clear to land in Accra. Because before you come to Accra, you need clearance. So you check all those information from the pilot. If everything is okay, then he can come in. If not, at times you need to even call the Air Force, call the AIS, check if they have clearance to land. If they don't have, then you need to inform the appropriate authorities, or it will be the Air Force.
Air Force, okay.
To inform them about the aircraft.
If an aircraft is approaching Accra from, say, Netherlands, where would it come from? Where would you spot the aircraft?
Okay, let me. We have Accra. You see that we have the map, like Ghana map.
Yes, sure.
And this oceanic is here, and the land area is here. So when they are coming from Europe, they normally come to this point, in Oxo. In Oxo, or at times Navon, Move, Oxido, any of these points. And Tamale is here, you have Bolga, Watu, somewhere. So when they are coming from the north, at times when you are in the aircraft, you see the chart. So as you are coming from north, so maybe this point, you see Tamale will be there. Tamale will indicate on the chart. So they're coming from this area, from that's Niamey. And Niamey will hand the aircraft over to Oxo.
Okay, so Niamey, which is in North Africa, will hand over the aircraft to Accra.
Yes.
Okay.
And Accra will control the aircraft, maybe separating from the aircraft.
Right.
So the man gets to some distance to Accra before he requests for descent, because he's coming to Accra, so he needs to descend. Yeah.
When aircraft are airborne, do you have a set space for aircrafts flying side by side and also following one another? Do you have a set space for them?
Oh yeah, we have them. I think they have 10 nautical miles between them.
Right.
And at times too, they fly on radials.
Okay.
Radials, at times maybe separation of about 20 degrees. Maybe one will be on some radial of maybe let me say 130 degrees. You can put another aircraft on 150 degrees. You have 20 degrees in between them, which is okay. And at a certain distance, no problem with that. Yeah.
I hear you mention numbers and letters, and you use the alphanumeric, the Charlie, Tango, Oscar. Why is that necessary to communicate with an aircraft?
It's because, you know, we have a lot of languages. We have French, we have English, and but we use that word at least for clarity. Because Frenchman, let me say,
Accent is not all that great.
that is it. That is it. So we use that language for everybody to be okay with it. You see. So what we use here is not, let me say, pure. It's not the proper English like the Queen's English. Yeah, but at least we need to, for those from the other side, to also be okay with it, like the French and the Turkish and those.
So you use Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot. Okay, that's great. And so all too soon, it's been a fantastic day at the Air Traffic Control Tower. This has been GTV Breakfast.
Thank you, Daryl and the team. So thank you for inviting us. We wanted to do this live, but we were told the signals would interfere with your communication signals, and it was not a safe thing to do. So safety is really big for you guys, right?
Everything is about safety. Making sure that two aircraft don't crash, whether in the air, on the ground, vehicles, human beings. So safety is our paramount objective.
So you're very alert, and yet, even though air transport is said to be the safest mode of transport, still, there's things that fall through the cracks, and we have accidents.
Oh yes, yeah. As an institution, human institution, equipment. So equipments are not 100%. Human beings are not 100%. So invariably, there can be mistakes here and there. It can be pilot error, engineer error, controller's error, or the system error. All those can contribute to a crash.
How are we doing as a country, Alisa, when it comes to our safety rating, as compared to others, even within the sub-region, the continent, and the world?
I think that we're doing fairly well. Africa is trailing, though, I must say, in terms of the safety record in other continents. But then I think in Ghana we're doing very well. And whenever there's an issue, an accident like you mentioned, there's an accident investigation which takes place. Now, that's not to apportion blame. The main objective of that is to come up with the contributing factors and the causal factor, what caused it, so that it can be prevented and not happen on future occasions. Okay, so we take that aspect also very seriously to prevent further accidents.
So, for example, what happened with the KLM flight that had to come back to land, the one with the aircraft that went over the runway? What happened in those instances? Okay. Any of you could.
All right, so the KLM, there was a bird strike. So the pilots realized there was a bird strike, one of the dangerous effects on aircraft. So he aborted takeoff.
So in a situation like that, they call the control
Yes,
center?
your abort takeoff is going to inform us. Yeah, it's aborting takeoff.
And what do you do? What measures do you immediately start putting in place?
So if there's an imminent danger, there's going to be a crash, or we look for the situation at hand. We have fire alarm bells there. We work with the fire service, our internal fire service, that GSCL. So we communicate with them through bells. So once there's a crash, depending on the situation, you press a bell, it signals them, and they move quickly to the site to salvage whatever they have to do.
But in the case of this KLM flight, you assessed it and realized they could come back to land safely, even though the bird strike was a serious threat.
It did not even take off at all.
Okay,
yeah.
So then that was handled quite safely.
Yeah.
Is it something? It's not something that will happen on a typical day. So how do you keep your skills sharp, and how do you ensure that your people are always ready to confront and to handle whatever issues that may come up?
Okay, that's a very good question. We do vigorous training. Training is a very critical aspect of what we do. And like you said, those are abnormal situations that we don't deal with on a routine basis. And so to keep our skills up to date, we do training programs. We do refresher training and currency training on that aspect to ensure that if at any time you're working and it happens, it could happen on any day, any time to anyone, at least you're adequately prepared to deal with those situations.
Is it a seniority thing? So for example, in one particular shift, I presume that you work shift because flights land at different times.
We do work shifts.
How many people would typically be on duty at one time? at the control center that we just saw?
Right, basically, each position is supposed to have 2 people working at a time. So you have the approach, the area, and the aerodrome. So basically 6 people, they have a supervisor as well.
Assistants.
And the assistant, a planner. So you have a planner also working. So basically you have about 8 controllers minimum every point in time.
How many hours do you work typically?
Okay, we have 3 different shifts. We work a morning shift, afternoon shift, and a night shift. So the morning and afternoon shifts are 7 hours, and the night shift is 10 hours.
Okay. And how do you, because safety is important, a key component of safety is equipment. Yeah. And I'm sure that even for Ghana, we've seen some rapid changes.
Yeah.
What does the equipment we have now tell us about how far we've come?
Okay, so we've got technologically advanced systems, like you mentioned, to keep up with the growth in air traffic. Okay, now I know that when COVID happened, I mean, it caught us all unawares. Air traffic levels dropped. However, we're in the recovery period and rising slowly again. And so we've got the air traffic management system, which is computer-based systems integrated together, and they are of the highest level in the world currently. Okay, we've got communication equipment, we've got surveillance equipment, and we've got navigation equipment. Okay, and they all have to be of a high level of integrity and reliability for us to provide, like you said, a safe and continuous service. And we have the men and women at the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority who are the engineers who are also highly trained to handle those equipments. And so it's a collaboration, okay, of air traffic controllers, engineers, and other units to enable us provide a safe and efficient service.
But is there something you wish you could see an improvement in? Because I'm sure that as good as it is, there's always room to do more.
I must say Ghana is always blessed, and we have one of the best systems, as you said. We're even putting up a second systems, even more advanced than what we are using. It's almost 80% complete. Very soon we will be moving into that system, which is good. So for now, I think we are on top.
How many air traffic controllers are you, for example, in Ghana? Because every airport needs to have this team in place, right?
Yes, yes. So a total of almost 80 controllers.
Yeah.
Okay, in total across. Trained? Yes, you have to definitely be trained before you can man any position. Okay, so about 80, let's round it off to 80 controllers. Okay. However, we need to see more women in the field.
So what are the entry requirements to be trained as an air traffic controller? What do you what background do you need to give you a step? I mean, and if you don't like maths and geography, you are out. So be like me and just sit somewhere and let's see who has a chance.
So science, bias people, and the IT, basically geography. So those are the basic requirements to get up there.
How long does it take to train to be an air traffic controller? So
when they pick you up, you're going to go through ab initio, as I said. You work on the facility for some time, go through ab initio, then you go
through
ab initio.
Okay, what's that?
As an initial training, preparatory training, to make sure you are tough for the job. Yeah. Recruitment aspect is another serious thing altogether.
It is very intensive.
Very, very intensive.
So a lot of people apply and many don't get.
Yes, yes.
Do you require like international certification or some kind of certification to be a certified or qualified air traffic controller?
Yes, we all work with their license. Without a license, you cannot be a controller.
So you're a lot like doctors then?
Yes, everybody have a license. I have my license, she has a license. And I have the unit have a unit license. If an aerodrome can be an aerodrome controller, approach controller, area controller. So go through the whole system. There are some of our colleagues are just aerodrome controllers, others are just approach and aerodrome, area, approach, and aerodrome. Depending on the number of years that you spent there, you keep training to upgrade yourself within the system. So we are both area controllers. So for now, but you can do instructors as well. So you can do approach, area, and aerodrome.
I mean, if you take out the maths and the geography, maybe I'll consider joining.
Maths is very important.
You see, maths is very necessary. Yeah.
Very necessary. And Alisa was saying, it's like a puzzle. You just need to know the rules.
Good
morning to all my previous maths teachers. I'm sorry for you. When the aviation industry, so an airport literally grinds to a halt if air traffic controllers decide that we are not having it today, we are done. We are really upset with you and we wish we could change things. In what instances would you take those actions, and what does it tell us about the importance? I almost don't want to say the importance, but the crucial role that you play in the aviation sector.
Okay, let me take up this. We don't want to go on, as you said, a strike or draw services. When you draw a service, everything comes to a standstill. Because flights are not coming in. If flights are not coming, who works at the airport? Nobody. No plane landing. Anybody working there is redundant. So once we stay off the work, everybody is like a zero. We don't want to get there, but in recent times we've been forced to get there in Ghana. Basically, anytime we get there, it's about equipment. We've never gone on strike because of money. That one I can bet my last penny. And we only do that when we realize that the system is not working as it should be. And we want to force the authorities to do the right thing. We withdraw our services small just to bring
So it's never about money?
Never.
It means you are very well paid?
Oh yes, I'll say that.
You are the first group of people that I've had here sat at this table who have admitted and said we are paid very well. Yes.
I will not deny that.
Emphatic yes.
Yes.
I won't even ask how much. Maybe after the show I'll corner some of you and ask you. But you're paid very well, so it's not about the money for you, it's the safety.
Safety is our paramount. Money, everybody needs more money. Paid well is also relative in every system. If I'm saying I'm paid well, depend on the levels that we have in the system. So relatively, it is well-paid job. But we always do because of safety. We always want to protect the safety and integrity of the profession. That's why sometimes you do those.
So it's International Air Traffic Controllers Day, and what are you doing to celebrate? Surely some party should be happening somewhere that you would invite us to. What are you doing to mark the day?
So we normally have an open day at the center in the tower, but then obviously due to COVID restrictions, we weren't able to do that this year. That's why we're here. We also have a corporate social responsibility program after this interview, where we are doing donations to State School of the Deaf at Ashaman. And then that's taking place today. And then on Friday, we have an air traffic controller pilot interaction session. So those are the two programs besides this one that we're doing.
You have something to add?
Oh, no.
Okay, so I'm thinking that if you had people who are watching you who are probably hearing about this for the very first time, what do you want them to take away from the celebration of International Day of the Air Traffic Controller?
So we, as I said, they're always behind the scenes, and today we are out.
You're like the cameraman, actually, because we are here and you're only seeing 3 people, but there are like 10 other people on the studio floor at least, and many more in the control room.
Exactly. So like the pilot, everybody, when you talk about aviation, everybody talks about the pilot. Everybody sees the pilot, the cabin crew, go. But we are behind the scenes. Today we want to be out to talk about what we do, people to know about air traffic control. So that's one thing that we want to share today as controllers.
Okay. You have something to add?
Yes. So I think that our noble profession is very well respected throughout the world, and it entails a lot of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. Okay, and you have to have a passion definitely for aviation and for what you do, because it's one of the most stressful jobs in the world.
Is it?
Yes, it definitely is.
What's the most stressful situation you've encountered in your career, Alisa?
We deal with stress on a daily basis and pressure. I mean, for every shift that you work, you sit down, you have a plan, and then the plan overturns because there's adverse weather all of a sudden, or there's an abnormal situation that you have to deal with. But the key there is that you need to remain calm as you've been trained. You need to be able to remain in control, be confident, and safely manage the situation. And so it's something that we deal with every shift on a daily basis. you know, and but it is rewarding in the sense of there's satisfaction when you see passengers who've left Heathrow and landed safely in Accra and they're meeting with their families. You know that you were part of that process, you know, and that's where they're rewarding not just the monetary aspect that you spoke about, but then there's that satisfaction, you know, that you were part of that process.
I've never thought about flying in through the eyes of an air traffic controller, but today my mind is awakened to a whole new dimension. Why do you want to see more women there?
Air traffic control has always been a male-dominated field. I've been doing this for 23 years. When I joined back then, when I joined back in the day, we were 4 women amongst about 70 men. Okay, and now over 20 years later, we are 8 women. You know, and I think it's that fear that you expressed earlier about mathematics. You know, women always, back in school, there was this stigma of girls wanting to run away from the science subjects because it's too hard and it's too difficult. But it's a mindset. And so if there's something that you want to achieve and you put your mind to it, it's achievable. There's nothing impossible. So please, I'm making this call out to women. Come and see what we do. The young ladies work hard in school. And please come and join us. It's definitely rewarding. You will enjoy it.
Don't you all just love Alice? I mean, I almost want to become an air traffic.
Please join us.
Join. Not for the terrible two subjects that I dread most in the world. But I mean, big day to you. Congratulations on your celebration as well. Your celebration is actually on my mom's birthday, so I
happy birthday to your mom.
Happy birthday to your mom. What's her name?
Teresa.
Teresa, happy baby.
Happy birthday, Mommy. My mom is 20. Okay, so congratulations to you. We wish you well. Open Day is not happening today because of COVID, but the CSR program, donation to the school, and then the pilot that you're having on Friday, we wish you the very best, and we'll come by the airport and see you. You don't need to just be going abroad to come to the airport. You can come just to, you know, cheer our air traffic controllers on. Maybe we should do a clap for you today. We have organized the clap. So at 8 p.m., let's all clap for 1 minute for all our air traffic, because you do keep us safe. And air travel is de facto the safest means of transport. Thank you for all that you do.
I want to say a big thank you to all the controllers in Ghana, those in Wa, Tamale, Kumasi, Sunyane. I want to say a big thank you for holding the fort, and I equal to all of you guys. I say thank you so much, and also want to say thank you to our Chief Executive, Engineer Charles Kreku. Say thank you for the wonderful work he's doing at the aviation.
Okay, any shouts from you?
Yes, I'd like to wish all air traffic controllers all over the world a happy Air Traffic Controllers Day, and not just to the current working controllers, but previous controllers, retired controllers, because once you're an air traffic controller, you're always an air traffic controller. And so let's enjoy the day together.
And also not forgetting our deputies, the 2 deputies of Charles. That's Juliet Abuaji and Daniela Kwa. There are 2 deputies, technical and FNA.
So from the president of the Ghana Air Traffic Controllers Association and a member of the same association, to all of you out there who are air traffic controllers in Ghana, outside Ghana, the rest of the world, we are being celebrated today for all that you contribute to the aviation industry, for the safety, and for the fact that you continue to keep families moving from one place to another safely to meet the people that we love constantly. Is thanks to efforts from one of these key sectors in the aviation industry. We are grateful. Mr. Francis Amensa, President, Ghana Air Traffic Controllers Association, thank you so much for being with us. And the beautiful Alisa Kalmoni, member of the same association, thank you so much. I've met a new friend today.
Thank you very much,
lady and gentlemen, for being on the show.
You.
So it's something that you could actually put your mind to if you think that you have what it takes, especially if you're a woman. Hey, woman power. You need a background in IT, you need a background, a strong background in maths and geography, and you can do this, you can get trained, and you can also become one of the elite team who guarantees safety of aircraft right from when they move to the time they take off, cruise, land. They make sure they are at the right levels at every time, and they get everybody home safely. Thanks to the team, and happy International Air Traffic Controller Day to all of you. You're watching GTV Breakfast Show, brought to you by Awake Mineral Water, Shoulder Acrylic Paint, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us.
2, 3, go.